So this is a fun one here. You're looking at the first time we've ever been able to offer officially licensed Coca-Cola product for Cherry Coke. We've done Coca-Cola for quite some time. Always in demand, always very, very popular. You know, we were anticipating it because it was Cherry Coke, something new. And then when we got these and the packaging, they absolutely knocked it out of the park. We'll talk about it here. You're going to want to get online at csnmint.com or call the number you've been calling for nearly over 25 years. And check this out, folks. They did, like I said, just a stupendous job here on the packaging. You're looking at the 1 ounce legal tender pure silver cherry Coca-Cola coin. All right, so the packaging here we'll talk about, the limited issue we'll talk about, and everything else that comes along with this piece we'll talk about here soon.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a very, very unique packaging. Certainly an incredible opportunity. Now, the coin itself, it is a legal tender coin brought to us by Pamp Swiss.
Right.
Like all the other legal tender coins that we've offered from them in the past, it is actually individually numbered on the coin itself, which collectors always love. And you can see on the packaging itself, it'll list the worldwide issue limit, Kevin, at only 4,500 total coins. And with such a huge collectible market for Coca-Cola itself, this, of course, has a lot of crossover appeal with the Coca-Cola licensed product, and then along with coin collectors themselves, it will be an absolute sellout. You've got the original design on the Coca-Cola on the coin for that Cherry Coke, first introduced 40 years ago in 1985. And then the packaging itself is one of the more original Cherry Coke designs, and it's just absolutely stunning. It's actually a bank, a piggy bank, okay? And then when you lift off the lid, you got the cherry floating in the Coca-Cola itself. When you pull out that top lid, there is where the coin will be resting. Very, very unique packaging, and everybody always likes when it turns into the piggy bank. We had last year the vending machine with the 1 ounce silver bottle. That was an instant sellout, and that's part of the reason why this is going to be an instant sellout. You know, Coca-Cola has become synonymous with the holidays. Right. You see the Santa Claus advertisements, the polar bears, and it's just that time of year, and something like this with the 1 ounce silver coin, with the very unique packaging that also turns into a piggy bank. When I was a kid growing up, I felt like that was one of those continuous presents. I seem to get a lot of piggy banks as gifts. So certainly not a bad thing if you're going to save something to save money. So this is everything for $159.95. Also will be certainly one where folks are going to take multiples, much like when we've had the crossover toys or things related to movies. People want to have one sealed in that original packaging, then one to open up to where obviously you can, see the coin, display it, actually utilize the piggy bank itself. So $159.95, a great price point to take multiples on that. You're under, less than $320 for 2 of them. So you do not want to wait. $159.95. Call or go online now.
Yeah, we've had folks that have been continuing the Coca-Cola collection, the Pamp issues, the limited edition numbered series that they do, and that continues here on the first ever Cherry Coke. The packaging's like none other that we've seen. We're talking about when we got these in, Corey and I, how they did such a tremendous job, but then also we had the vending machine. I think that was earlier this year, the Coca-Cola, or perhaps last year.
Time goes by
so fast. But those were complete and utter total sellouts, and we had about 300 of those. That's what our allotment is. We'd like to get more. We'd love to get 600, 800, 1,000.
All 4,500 would be great.
Great. We would love to do that, but unfortunately, we just have a specific allotment, and they go quickly, especially when it's so nice, such a nice job, so well done as they've done here. I mean, obviously, you can see it on the screen at home. They absolutely knocked it out of the park. So everybody who sold out on the vending machines earlier this year or last year, whenever that may have been. I work with collectors. Corey, you work with collectors. Good point to make here. If you're not already working with a numismatic specialist, ask to do so, because we go and help find special or sold out items, and it just, we had the demand through the roof on those vending machines. Everybody loves it. And so everybody who got one of those, which was all 300 under then is going to get it now. So you're getting it now by picking up the phone. You're getting it now, internet savvy, by going to csnmint.com. There is currently no limit on it. So Corey mentioned 2. People are grabbing 4 or 5. We talked about the holidays coming up. Let's hope the stocking's big enough to fit this monster in there. It is a tremendous, and when you open it up and you see exactly what we're talking about, you know, they display well on the television, but as you know, once you have it in your hand, once you're holding it, what you're going to be lighting up with smiles. Your eyes are just going to be looking at so much here. You got the vending machine, you've got the box, but the logo they did on here, the outside container with the cherry on top, literally, okay? We always say with the cherry on top,
right.
But literally, we've got the cherry on top right here for you. You pull that out, and then you've got your coin ice cold in here, but there's nothing hotter than this right now. They're going to go quick, and you're going to want to be able to get in there. So when you do work with your numismatic specialist, oh, I missed out on it. Oh, can you help me find more? We don't, have to disappoint anybody, but you're going to have to act quickly on this one based on the past with the Coca-Cola merchandise, officially licensed, numbered editions especially. They go quickly. No surprise. I mean, Coca-Cola has been around since 1886 out of Atlanta, Georgia. So this actually, looking into the Cherry Coke, was kind of made its debut in Knoxville, Tennessee at the World's Fair in 1982. They started doing some testing there, and they realized, wow, we're onto something. This is the first flavor they had done. They'd done diet, they'd done the original Coke, of course, and then diet, but this was the first flavor. There've been some unofficial flavorings at the soda parlors where people put the syrup in there, but this was the first to come out. It was in Knoxville, Tennessee at the World's Fair, a hit. So they started to bottle it, they started to can it, and it's been available in 200 plus countries ever since. So tremendous opportunity for you, a really fun piece, very, very well done, and I know you're going to love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing we failed to mention with this unique packaging, you might be looking and thinking those protective holders look a little odd. Well, if it's not clear on the television, that is actually the ice cubes.
Yeah.
So the coin itself is sealed into the ice cube. When you open up that packaging, you take the cherry off the top. It's inside of that protective casing, which is actually an ice cube. So they didn't miss a thing with this.
Yeah.
You've got the cherry, you've got the soda itself, then you have the coin sealed into the ice cube, which is an incredible packaging. And like I mentioned, Kevin's showing it there. That's the original design from the first Cherry Coke all the way back in 1985. Now, you mentioned it, Kevin, going all the way back to 1886, certainly one of the biggest beverage companies in the world today. It's not just Coke and Diet Coke. There's
right.
so many things under the umbrella. And, they say it's one of the most recognizable brands and also one of the most well-known words in the world today.
Sure.
So people that don't necessarily speak English, speak a different language, I think they say behind okay. I always want to say okay or hello, with that being the most universally known word. It's actually, I think Coca-Cola is next in line for, far off places where people actually recognize the logo, the classic Coca-Cola logo, which, transcends generations.
Absolutely.
And like I mentioned, this time of year, it's synonymous with the holidays. I think we have each and every year for probably the last, as long as I can remember, 6 or 7 years, we're generally going to have 1 or 2 Coca-Cola options this time of year, always incredibly fast sellout. This may very well be the one and only presentation, unfortunately, that Kevin and I are able to do on this, because you mentioned all of the folks that have gotten the Coca-Cola items in the past. Well, if they miss this presentation, they're going to get reached out to on Monday morning, and these will definitely be gone, if I had to guess, by Tuesday. So you don't want to wait at $159.95. It's tremendous value. Again, these are 1 ounce pure silver, 99.99 legal tender, and they are consecutively numbered on the coin itself, which is always very unique for us on any collectible coin. Very seldom, unless it comes from the Pamp Swiss Mint,
right,
are they numbered on that. And folks love numbered editions. Only 4,500 total for worldwide distribution. And just to repeat, unfortunately, we do not have all 4,500. So do not wait. $159.95, call or go online now. Grab as many as you could comfortably afford.